Hello, wonderful people. This is Tom Check with Choice Coaching. Happy to have you back. We've spent the last couple of videos talking a lot about action and creating action and how it's the most important thing to actually get us where we want to go. And it would be really easy to just say, kind of Nike's slogan, go do it. But that doesn't work for a lot of us. And so there's some tools and tricks that we can use to make action a little more effective and a little more consistent. So I use this with a lot of my clients, and I call it trigger training. Different people call it different things. So today we're going to use the example of somebody who, silly as this sounds, wants to eat less cupcakes in their life, right? But you can apply this to whatever it is that you're working on, whatever your goal is. So the time to think about what action you're going to take to eat less cupcakes shouldn't be when you're driving to the cupcake factory tour. Shouldn't be when you're at the party already and you see the tray of cupcakes. If that's when you're starting to figure out what your action plan is, it might be too late. It's going to be really hard to not walk over there, rip off that little wrapper, and down that cupcake. So what I recommend is doing this beforehand and making this a practice for anything that's really important to you. And trigger training is pretty straightforward. It's taking a few moments to sit and really identify what are your triggers that are creating the condition that you don't want. So if my condition that I don't want is eating 16 million cupcakes at a party, when I go to a party, what happens that gets me eating them normally? And the answer might be that it's just the look of that frosting, right? Ooh, that frosting looks so good. And as soon as I see it, my prefrontal cortex shuts down, my reptilian brain turns on, and I just start downing them. Or maybe it is, the feeling of hunger that comes up when I start seeing cupcakes. Or maybe it's the sound of pulling that little pleated wrapper off of the bottom of the cupcake. Whatever it is for you, take some time. Identify what are those triggers. There might be more than one. And once you identify them, that's when you come up with your game plan for what am I going to do when that trigger comes up. I know that I'm going to see that cupcake and I'm going to want to eat it. So what do I do then? And have a replacement behavior that you plan out. And in your mind, I want you to practice that. See the cupcake, feel the desire, and then do this other thing, which is maybe grab the carrot stick because I recognize I'm just hungry, or take a drink of water because I'm probably dehydrated, whatever your thing is. So visualize seeing that cupcake, having the desire build up to go and just mow down a bunch of cupcakes, and then visualize yourself taking a drink of water, for instance. And then celebrate afterwards. And this feels silly, right? Because we haven't done anything. We're just visualizing. But actually go ahead and do what's called a state change, and get up and do a little celebratory dance. It does this weird thing with our central nervous system that anchors that we just did something good. And it makes us far more likely when we actually show up to the party and we've got that plate of cupcakes in front of us to pick up the glass of water, take a drink instead, and then inside we do a little victory dance. And if you only do this once, it'll totally work, right? But it's not maybe going to work as effectively as if you practice it a couple of times. And the things that you're going to practice this on aren't probably cupcakes. They're really important things. They're the way that you interact with your team at work. They're the way that you're building your business. They're the way that you go out and sell whatever it is you sell. So take this time to step back, practice in your mind. We've got lots of time when we're thinking about all these important things we're going to do anyway. Let's use that time more constructively. Go into a trigger training pattern where we identify the triggers, we practice a better behavior, we celebrate and anchor. And just do that numerous times throughout the day, leading up to whatever the event is where you know you're going to be triggered. And what happens is it's almost easy in the moment, after you've practiced this, to put the cupcake down, to not get triggered at Janice on your team when she brings up whatever it is that Janice always brings up in the meeting. All of a sudden you feel like you're already prepared for what's going to happen. And that makes it a lot easier to create action. So that's your tip of the day. Be well, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.